Watch Jeff Gianola and Julie Emery weeknights on KOIN 6 News at 5 and 6.
Terror attack. Gunmen kill Americans and other Westerners at an oil facility in Saudi Arabia. Assessing the president's claim of success in Iraq 1 year later. A new high-tech method for mapping dyslexia. And pipe dream. Will this Picasso painting fetch a record price?
This is the CBS Evening News with Thalia Ashuris.
Good evening, everyone. There has been another terror attack in Saudi Arabia, the second in less than a month. Almost all of those killed in a hail of bullets were Westerners, including Americans. At least 25 others were injured. The assault occurred in Yanbu, more than 500 miles west of the capital of Riyadh. Mark Phillips has more.
According to the Saudi authorities, the gunmen had hijacked cars in their attempt to get away after their attack. They were finally, the Saudis say, cornered on a downtown street and killed. But not before they had exacted their own toll. 7 people, 2 Americans, 2 British, 2 Australians, and a Saudi, had been murdered in an attack on the offices of a Western engineering firm in the oil port of Yanbu.
These are Saudis, and they've joined a cult, the Al-Qaeda, and they're doing the bidding of the leader of that cult, Osama bin Laden. So they are, unfortunately, they're from within Saudi Arabia.
The Saudis called the attack an indiscriminate evil rampage, but it seemed anything but indiscriminate. Instead, it seemed another calculated attempt to destabilize the Saudi regime. In a series of recent attacks, dissident forces have repeatedly attacked compounds where foreign workers live. 35 people, including 9 Americans, died in this bombing a year ago. Another devastating truck bomb tore through this compound last November. And just last month, the offices of the Saudi security forces in Riyadh were hit. All of these attacks were really directed at the Saudi royal regime, which depends on skilled foreigners to run its oil-based economy and on a security force to protect it from militant Islamist elements within its own society. And despite assurances from the Saudis that they are destroying terrorist cells, the attacks keep happening. Mark Phillips, CBS News, London.
A year ago today, President Bush stood on a U.S. aircraft carrier and proclaimed major combat operations in Iraq over. Since then, 607 American troops have died in the line of duty, 140 in April, more than during the major combat of a year ago. At least 14,000 Iraqis have also died, and the future U.S. role in Iraq seems unclear. We have several reports tonight, beginning with Jim Acosta.
There's a new sheriff in Fallujah, and it's not the U.S. military. A newly formed Iraqi brigade is on the beat. Former soldiers in Saddam's army taking over ground once held by American Marines.
Most of these guys may not be squeaky clean, but they're pretty clean. They're certainly past muster.
Pretty clean seems good enough for residents to return to this war-torn city. The month-long siege convinced coalition leaders it was time to get creative.
There's a great deal of animosity in the city right now for Americans, and we accept that.
Enter General Yassin Mohammed Saleh, a relic of Saddam Hussein's army, who looked very much a man from the old regime, complete with mustache in his old Iraqi military uniform. He's in charge in Fallujah, with Marines watching from the outskirts. A year ago, when major combat was declared over, nobody in the administration predicted there would be Iraqi cities too dangerous for Americans to enter. These pictures won't make it any safer for coalition forces. New photos revealing the barbaric treatment of Iraqi prisoners. This time, it's British soldiers seen urinating on an Iraqi captive, widening a scandal sparked by photos of American abuse.
We went to Iraq to get rid of that type of thing, not to do it.
Insurgents are still striking along Iraqi roads, killing 1 U.S. soldier and 2 foreign contractors in northern Iraq. In Najaf, supporters of Muqtada al-Sadr danced in the streets, but tonight there are reports of fighting between Sadr's militia and American troops. The next critical test for American forces comes in a few days, when a U.S. convoy attempts to drive through the heart of Fallujah under the protection of local Iraqis. How that drive goes could show whether this new alliance was the right road to take. Jim Acosta, CBS News, Baghdad.
The president finds himself in testy political waters a year after that aircraft carrier statement. Today, as he took on his critics, some of them unleashed a secret weapon. Joey Chen reports from Washington.
Braced for a barrage of criticism on the anniversary of his appearance on the deck of the USS Abraham Lincoln, the president vowed to stay the course in Iraq.
We will finish our work in Iraq because the stakes for our country and the world are high.
But the president was stung by a broadside from an unexpected source. Just over a year ago, Lieutenant Paul Rykoff's Army National Guard unit was among the first to enter Iraq. This morning, he gave the Democratic response to the president's address, joining forces with critics of Mr. Bush's Iraq policy.
I'm not angry with our president, but I am disappointed.
But he told CBS News he is upset over the lack of support for the troops in Iraq.
The soldiers are the ones who are suffering, and their families are the ones that are suffering. If you go out into Manhattan right now, it doesn't look like we're at war because most of America is not suffering. But these families and their soldiers are.
A sharp turnaround from his interview last fall with CBS's 60 Minutes 2, when he said U.S. forces were making incredible strides in bringing stability to Iraq.
The liberation of the Iraqi people is an incredible experience for all of us involved.
Rykoff says he couldn't speak freely while on duty, but is now ready to join critics of the administration. Protesters like those who say they are ready to run against Bush. Jessica Cox voted for the president in 2000.
I think he's really dropped the ball in a lot of areas, especially the war on terrorism, by shifting the focus to the war on Iraq.
That focus is likely to increase as more U.S. troops return from the war and more opponents organize more protests against it. For the president, it's the anniversary of a mission accomplished, but for many, he has yet to prove it isn't a mission impossible. Joey Chen, CBS News, the White House.
The realities of war collided with optimistic forecasts on a number of fronts this week. And in this new phase of the Iraq debate, pictures and names are provoking a fresh round of harsh words. Sharon Alfonsi has more.
They are the images of war the Pentagon wanted Americans to see. A soldier's rescue, a toppled statue, a soaring president.
Major combat operations in Iraq have ended.
But 1 year after what's been called one of the greatest moments of presidential theater, a somber and controversial curtain call for fallen U.S. soldiers.
To Mario Burkett.
Friday night, ABC's Nightline broadcast the names and pictures of every soldier killed in Iraq.
Michael LaLush.
721 names in all. A broadcast seen live in New York's Times Square.
Seeing the faces really brings it home to, for sure.
Nightline producers say the broadcast was a tribute, inspired by this 1969 Life magazine of fallen Vietnam soldiers. But critics saw something else. Sinclair Broadcast Group, which owns 7 ABC affiliates, refused to air the show, arguing the program, quote, appears to be motivated by a political agenda. Media analyst Danny Schechter says the Nightline broadcast marks an important turning point in the way the media has covered the war.
Many media outlets are beginning to ask tougher questions than they've asked before and be journalists as watchdogs, not as lapdogs.
Last year's video of embedded reporters is being replaced with raw and often grisly images of war.
Analysts say U.S. journalists are not only pursuing, they're now pushing new images of the war in Iraq. Images the public and the Pentagon never counted on seeing like this.
I think it'll have a big impact. It puts the Pentagon, it puts the war on the defensive.
The latest CBS New York Times poll shows just 33% of Americans believe the war in Iraq has been worth its cost. The drop follows the deadliest month of fighting for U.S. soldiers in Iraq. The Pentagon says if requested, it will send more troops to help. What's unclear is how they plan to fight another battle, the escalating image war at home. Sharon Alfonsi, CBS News, New York.
A major computer glitch today forced Delta Airlines to ground all flights operating from its Atlanta hub. Delta said it is gradually restoring service in and out of the busy hub, where hundreds of flights operate daily. The nation's third largest carrier said there is not a safety or security issue. On the CBS Weather Watch, a deadly day in Texas with flash floods killing at least 5. A line of heavy thunderstorms with winds up to 60 miles an hour dumped as much as 3 inches in some places. In one of several similar incidents, a mother and her young son died when her car was swept away as she tried to cross a flooded road. Police are searching for another child who was in the car. 50 miles away, the bodies of 2 children swept away in their father's car were recovered. Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, a no-confidence vote for one brand of electronic voting machine. And later, is the art world ready to pay $100 million for a painting?
Jim Caviezel stars as Bobby Jones.
What do you think your chances are to win all 4 majors?
A man who pursued a goal
I have to do it.
no one had attained before.
You're gonna win them all.
But he would have to choose between his dedication to the game
My love for you has nothing to do with you winning any championships.
and his devotion to the woman he loved.
I can't do it without you.
Jim Caviezel, Claire Forlani, Jeremy Northam, Bobby Jones, Stroke of Genius. Rated PG, now playing at theaters everywhere.
A family barbecue, Pollen?
Yeah, Ragweed, watch how fast their allergy medicines stop working. His Benadryl allergy only lasted 6 hours. Same with her Tylenol severe allergy.
His Allegra 180 still working. It lasts 4 times longer.
One dose of most seasonal allergy medicines doesn't work as long as you want, but just one Allegra 180 lasts up to 4 times longer than most OTC allergy medicines.
His Allegra 180's worked all day.
For people 12 and over, side effects alone may include headache, cold, or backache.
Allegra 180 works all night, too.
Long-lasting Allegra. The relief goes on.
For the best protection against water damage, one name says it all. Thompson's Water Seal, waterproofer plus wood protector for the highest level of water protection guaranteed. Thompson's Water Seal and Thompson's Water Seal Advanced, the most powerful protection against water damage.
The heart protection study conducted by Oxford University is here. If you've had a heart attack or have diabetes, get information from Merck about treatment options at heartprotectionstudy.com.
I've lived here all my life. I'm not going anywhere. I've made arrangements for assistance if I need it. I'm a realist. I know I'll be old one day.
Long-term care coverage from Mutual of Omaha Insurance Company.
For a great fit and strong, long hold, fix it in and forget it.
Do you ever go skinny dipping?
No.
Do you ever date younger men?
No.
Do you ever lie about your age?
No, I'm only 28. Fool even your toughest critics. Olay Total Effect 7X has the power to fight 7 signs of aging. It also moisturizes better than these major department store brands. 7X. To fight past damage, try intensive restoration treatment.
My doctor was proud of the surgery, but the scar made me so self-conscious. So he suggested new Neosporin scar solution.
Now, the clinically proven technology used by burn centers and plastic surgeons to help reduce the appearance of scars is available to you, too. Introducing Neosporin Scar Solution. So effective, raised or discolored scars, even old scars, can look and feel significantly more natural.
Now I can even go strapless.
New Neosporin Scar Solution. The doctor's answer to scarring.
Focus, David, focus.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Okay, woodchuck.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Supreme Court Justice David Souter is said to be feeling fine today after he was assaulted by several men while jogging alone in Washington last night. The court said the 64-year-old Souter suffered only minor injuries. The highest court of the United Methodist Church ruled today that the practice of homosexuality is not compatible with Christian teaching. The church court also said clergy members who violate church law could face removal from office. Over the past few months, CBS News has broadcast a series of reports outlining problems with Diebold electronic voting machines. Well, now California has dealt the new technology another blow, banning the machines in 4 counties for the upcoming presidential election. Trish Regan of CBS Market Watch has more.
After 3 decades of punch cards, Alameda County went high-tech, spending millions on touchscreen voting machines made by Diebold election systems.
This machine didn't come up.
But in March, California voters were left hanging, not with chads, but computer glitches that kept many Diebold machines from starting.
On election morning, when something like that happens, it's very, very frustrating.
Thousands of voters were turned away. Most alarming was a software bug that credited thousands of votes to the wrong candidate.
I'm just wondering how many other people this system let down.
So California is pulling the plug on 14,000 machines and setting strict conditions on 28,000 more. Diebold told CBS News they were unavailable for an interview, but did issue a statement saying, "We have confidence in our technology and its benefits, and we look forward to helping administer successful elections in California and elsewhere in the country in November." But some expect the California ban to inspire action in other states, like Florida, where in January, 134 electronic votes weren't recorded in a race won by just 12 votes. Touchscreen machines also lost votes in North Carolina in 2002. And in Maryland, a test team recently demonstrated how hackers could manipulate election results in just minutes.
That person who hacked the machine could be an insider, even a programmer at the company.
Election watchdogs insist paper printouts at polling places would verify votes and quickly flag fraud. But most machines are not made with the printer option, often at the request of election organizers.
Printers jam, they sneer, they have error messages.
The federal agency charged with overseeing electronic voting will look at these problems and other issues at a hearing in Washington on Wednesday. The goal? Debug the system before it derails what many expect may be a close election. Trish Regan, CBS News, San Francisco.
One person was killed today in a Massachusetts amusement park accident. The 55-year-old man died when he fell out of the popular Superman ride of steel roller coaster at Six Flags New England in Agawam. Park officials said the coaster was inspected this morning. Just ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, new lessons for children with dyslexia.
The dental experts at Oral-B are on a mission to protect your teeth and gums. Their ultimate weapon, the Oral-B Professional Care 7000. The only power toothbrush with 3D action. It cleans so deep, it removes more plaque than Sonicare Elite, preventing and even reversing gum disease. Mission accomplished. The Oral-B Professional Care 7000. Brush like a dentist.
Gesundheit. We're sorry you've got allergies. Maybe we can help. Medical studies prove Benadryl is more effective than the leading prescription allergy medicine. Histamine-blocking Benadryl is more effective at relieving allergy symptoms like runny nose, sneezing, itchy nose, and watery eyes. When allergies bloom, Benadryl's more effective than the leading prescription allergy medicine.
Grandpa, how come you're always chugging Metamucil?
So it won't get thick and gritty.
Mommy doesn't chug.
I found an easier way to take fiber. Betafiber. It never gets thick like Metamucil can. It's taste-free, too.
Smart mommy.
Betafiber. The choice is clear.
You know, more and more men are making the move to Levitra. Maybe it's time you discovered what all the excitement's about.
Make your move today. Ask your doctor if a free trial of Levitra is right for you. Levitra, when it counts.
A different generation needs a different kind of denture adhesive. C-Bond is a thin, soft wafer with 3 adhesives for all-day hold. No ooze or pasty mess. For a kind of hold and comfort you have to feel to believe. C-Bond, a different generation.
Look at you with the healthy new diet.
Oh, you should try it.
With all the vegetables. Doesn't it give you gas?
Oh, God, does it ever. If I don't take Beano first. You should try it, too.
You have me worried. Take Beano before, there'll be no gas.
Financial services.
We're looking on only 3 points.
Reduction long-term receivables.
The luxurious Hyundai XG350L with America's best warranty. It's getting noticed in more ways than one.
For the millions of Americans who suffer from dyslexia, reading and writing can be lifelong struggles, which makes early intervention all the more important. A new approach to helping dyslexic children is the focus of tonight's Weekend Journal.
An elephant trunk.
9-year-old Jonathan Berkey has dyslexia, a neurological disorder that makes it difficult to master language skills such as reading, writing, and spelling.
When he was in kindergarten, 6 years old, and he couldn't pass the entrance test, the first grade, which was just saying his ABC.
Dyslexia affects as many as 15% of Americans and is often hereditary. Its severity varies, and while dyslexics have normal intelligence, they have trouble linking visual symbols with sounds, an essential process in reading.
When I would do homework with him, he would try and he just couldn't get it right. And I would get frustrated and he would get frustrated. And I thought, you know, it was something wrong.
After tests confirmed that Jonathan had dyslexia, the Berkeys enrolled him in the Genesee School near Baltimore. It's a small private school with just 144 students, all of them dyslexic.
Painted on its side.
Here, specially crafted instruction helps them read better.
Because in working with a dyslexic child, no one size fits all, okay? So here at Genesee, we create programs for children rather than put them into programs.
But do the programs work? To find out and better understand what goes on in the brains of dyslexic children, Georgetown University researchers have enlisted several Genesee students, including Jonathan, in a study. Using magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI, children watch a screen flashing words and symbols. When they try to read the words, researchers take images of their brains, showing which neurons are activated.
It's a technology that we've been using to collect structural information about what the brain looks like. And recently it became possible to infer something about where there's activity in the brain. So where the neurons in the brain are working when we're doing a task like reading. Ready?
Students also receive 2 8-week sessions of intense reading programs consisting of speech and visual exercises. Brain scans are taken before and after each session so that researchers can track any rewiring of the brain that may have resulted from the extra reading programs.
We need to know which intervention programs are effective, and we need to know who they're effective for, because there's not one magic bullet that's going to work for every child.
Jeanette Berkey, who is also dyslexic, says Jonathan's progress since entering the program is dramatic.
He's proud of being able to count backwards by 2 from 100, by 10, by 5, by 6, backwards and forwards, you know, which I think without this intervention, he would never have been able to do this, not at this stage.
Although the study is still underway, Berkey is confident that with more intervention, Jonathan will overcome his reading problems.
I expect him to be the president of the United States. I mean, I do expect great things from him. He is smart and can do it.
Researchers hope to have the results in about a year, telling them whether the extra reading programs had an impact and which children were most likely to benefit. We'll be back.
So, we can't use our miles for spring vacation. Well, what do?
We switch to Capital One.
We improvise.
Florida, here we come!
Want to start collecting miles you can actually use?
Hey, Florida?
Introducing No Hassle Rewards from Capital One. Free flights start at 9,000 miles with no blackout dates.
What's in your wallet?
It's termite swarm season. Terminix them with our problem-solved guarantee. 1-800-TERMINIX.
Fight ravaging rain, scorching sun, and wind with Thompson's Water Seal Advanced. Its special technology penetrates deep, forming a barrier to seal out 99% of the water right from the start. Thompson's Water Seal Advanced, the most powerful water protection guaranteed.
Can one Swiffer wet cloth clean your entire floor? Thanks to the powerful cleaning solution, the answer is yes. And then some. Stop cleaning. Start Swiffering.
Break up the full feeling of indigestion and pain with Alka-Seltzer.
It's a fabulous invention for denture wearers.
Polygrip's unique ooze control tip spreads a flat ribbon for less ooze.
Life has got a lot easier.
And try Polygrip with PolySeal. Helps seal out food, seals in comfort.
Financial services.
We're looking on like 3 points.
Reduction long-term receivables.
The luxurious Hyundai XG350L. With America's best warranty. It's getting noticed in more ways than one.
My doctor said I needed fiber, but Metamucil is thick and gritty. My doctor said I should take Benefiber. Benefiber has just as much fiber and never gets thick or gritty. Ask your doctor about Benefiber. For me, the choice is clear.
Sexual problems. Men have gotten help, but what about women? Starting Monday, why more hasn't been done, and the latest developments on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Well, a storybook finish in today's first leg of racing's Triple Crown, the Kentucky Derby. Pennsylvania's unbeaten favorite, Smarty Jones, came from behind on a sloppy track to win in the stretch. Lionheart was second, and Imperialism was third. Do I hear $100 million? An early masterpiece painted by a budding genius is going under the gavel, and it could take art prices where they've never been before. Anthony Mason has a preview.
Pablo Picasso was just 24 when he painted this portrait in 1905. Now, nearly a century later, Boy with a Pipe could become the most expensive work of art ever sold at auction.
It would not surprise me if it breaks all records, because it's such an outstanding painting.
It was the property of the late businessman Jock Whitney and his philanthropist wife, Betsy, who left it to their Green Tree Foundation.
They clearly loved Impressionist painting, because they've got some of the best.
That collection, more than 40 paintings by masters like Monet, Manet, and Degas, will be up for sale at Sotheby's in New York beginning Wednesday. But the crown jewel is Picasso's portrait, considered one of his most important and mysterious early works.
We don't know the significance of the pipe, nor do we know the significance of the garland.
The auction catalog does not list an estimate, but Sotheby's Charles Moffat puts it upwards of $70 million.
We're confident that it's up there, but exactly where, how far north of 70 it might go is anybody's guess.
It's been 14 years since the gavel came down on the highest bid ever for a work of art sold at auction. The record price that still stands is $82.5 million. The painting was Van Gogh's portrait of Dr. Gachet.
74 million. 75 million.
After a breathtaking frenzy of bidding, it sold at Christie's to a Japanese businessman. But soon after, the economy and the art market slumped.
How strong is the art market?
The art market is as strong as it's been since the early 90s.
As editor and publisher of Art News, Milton Estro has been watching the art market for 40 years.
I've never seen a time when you have more people with greater wealth buying more expensive art.
Half a century ago, the Whitneys paid $30,000 for Boy with a Pipe. The whispers in the art world say it could fetch $100 million when the gavel goes down next week. Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
And that is the CBS Evening News. Tomorrow on Sunday morning, a look at India's film industry. Then on Face the Nation, Joint Chiefs Chairman Richard Myers for a discussion of the military's treatment of prisoners of war. I'm Thalia Ashuris, CBS News in New York. Good night, everyone.
For news 24 hours a day, click on cbsnews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart, saving you and your family time and money with everyday low prices.
Hooray for Bollywood, Bombay's best, making the big time. Plus, forget the Derby, revisit a race where every competitor is a real long shot. This Sunday morning.
Experience CBS News. Next on Coin 6 News at 6.
One day after the end of the public inquest, James Jahar Perez's family speaks out. Do they believe the police? And what happens next?
A Portland motel fire badly injures a man. Evacuations, emergency response, and the victim's condition next.
Also, it's May Day, and hundreds of marchers and demonstrators made sure everyone in downtown Portland knew it. Coin 6 News is next.
Now, with Amy Morrow and Ken Boddy, this is Coin 6 News at 6.
Lies. I mean, it was just lies.
James Jahar Perez's family listened to the officer who killed him. They heard him, but they don't believe his story. Good evening, I'm Amy Morrow.
And I'm Ken Body. Welcome to KOIN 6 News at 6. Thousands of people...
Here after President